It's so hot outside. The first day of summer just passed, and already all my friends on Facebook are complaining about how hot it is outside. And as much as I hate wearing pants, I actually hate wearing shorts so much more. I'm also kind of psycho about getting sunburned, so I tend to want to cover this general vicinity of my body every time I go outside. So I found the perfect garment that fits into all my little prerequisites for summertime wear, and that is a caftan. I absolutely love them, and I'm going to show you how to make one of your own by simply sewing 2 scarves together. For my caftan, I'm using 2 silk scarves that have this amazing skull motif printed on them. The beauty of using finished scarves for this project is that you don't have to worry about hemming the sides. Who doesn't love that? And the only other things you need are a needle and matching thread. First, the first thing you want to do is iron your scarves.
You know, dearie, you should make sure to set that iron to low.
Once your scarves are all pressed, place them on top of each other, right sides together. Then pin the top edge together, leaving a 12-inch gap in the middle for a head hole. Now you're going to double thread your needle by cutting a length of thread that's twice the length of your forearm. Thread the cut ends through the eye of your needle and run your fingers down the looped length of thread. Then knot the end with a magic knot, like this. Then I recommend you turn on a really good movie because this next step is going to take a little while. Start at one end and take your time sewing a tight whip stitch until you reach the head hole gap. You'll skip that gap and then continue sewing till you reach the end of the other side. The more time you spend on it, the better it's going to turn out. Loose and widely spaced stitches will make your seam come out all wonky, and nobody wants that. Wonky, no worky. What about me? Don't you need me? If your scarves are really thin like mine, which actually help aid in that flowy effect, you're probably going to want to sew it by hand. I know it takes a long time, but your machine's just going to eat this right up. If your fabric's a little bit more durable, you can totally sew it with the sewing machine. Just set it to a zigzag stitch and set the stitch length to 0. Then set the width to about 2.5 and sew it along the edge like so, slightly pulling the fabric through as you go. Then you just cut away those little wispy pieces of thread. This process is also a tad time consuming.
Time keeps on slipping into the future.
Alrighty then, after you have the top edge of your caftan all sewn, you're going to turn it right side out. Measure about 12 inches down and in from one of the corners and place a pin in the top layer of fabric. Use that pin as a guide for placing a pin in the same spot on the second layer of fabric. Now use that same whip stitch technique to create a little rectangle in the first layer of fabric. When your rectangle is all done, use your scissor snips to cut a slit in the middle of the stitches. Then repeat that for the second layer of fabric. Measure the same way on the other side of the caftan, but instead of pinning and sewing the layers separately, you can pin and sew them together. If you don't want a belted caftan, you can skip the hole making steps and just tack it a little bit on each side. And you are done.
Meow.
Well, that's it for this week. If you have any suggestions for projects you would like to see, leave a comment below. And also, if you're interested in keeping up with all my shenanigans, you can follow me on Instagram at Corinne Lee. I am pretty obsessed with posting pictures there. It's kind of an addiction. Also, if you're not already, follow ThreadBanger on Pinterest. I have been going crazy, pinning things to different boards. It's actually really hard for me to get anything else done that I need to. Damn you, Pinterest! And lastly, this is the super exciting news. We are looking for ThreadBangers out there that have their own YouTube channels that are interested in being featured on the ThreadBanger YouTube channel. So send an email to threadbangerstyle@gmail.com if you're interested. Until next time, keep it crafty.